All right, ladies and gentlemen, good morning from Dixie Bowl in Louisville, Kentucky for the 26th annual Indiana-Kentucky All-Stars. My name is Chad Lester. I'm here with Mike Albee, and this time last year, we were packing our stuff up and going home.
Yeah, I remember that, yeah. Made the trip, but, I felt so bad for you guys. You guys really worked hard, but, hey, you rebounded quickly and got things back together. So,
we got new equipment, and, we're glad to be here.
2 years ago we were here.
Yeah, we were.
Yeah, Dixie Bowl here in Louisville.
Yeah, really nice center, clean 36
great host.
lanes.
Yeah, great host.
It's a nice family center, and
yeah, we're just looking at the program here, and I'll tell you what, I think Indiana won last time, that 2 years ago when we were here, but we were just looking at some of the scores and averages. I'll tell you what, Indiana's got more than their hands full from looking at some of the stats here. Kentucky's got some great scores and great bowlers here this morning.
Well, let's look at one of these bowlers. Was one of these bowlers you were pointing out on our featured pair? First of all, we want to apologize. We just have one featured pair this morning. It's a boys pair, lane 21 and 22. 23 and 24 is out of commission for this morning, but will be in commission for the singles portion this afternoon. We're just going to have a featured pair of 8 boys, 4 from Kentucky, 4 from Indiana. And
we've got a great pair here right in front of us.
Yeah, let's go down the lineup for Kentucky. It'll be left lane.
Yeah, left lane. That's we've got bowler Carly Schrader. Carly's got a high series of 759, high game of 300, averaging 219. And I can tell you there's some better scores than that listed on the sheet here. So that's a great one to start with. Those, all the players here right in front of us throw the ball so well.
They do.
We've got Joey Adams, 726, high series. High game's 287, averages 205.
He's only been bowling for 2 years.
I know, solid. We need to find the coaches who are coaching these young men, because they have really got them set and ready to go.
Yeah.
Devin Holland, here's another one, 764, high series, 300 game, averaging 201, bowling 11 years.
Mm-hmm.
But what a solid game. Throws the ball really well. And then we've got, looks like Brandon Paget.
Right here.
There he is. Brandon has a wonderful 817 high series, obviously a perfect game, averaging 200. So this pair is very solid. But once again, that's not the highest scores on the sheet we've seen.
No. Let's talk. Before we go to Indiana, we were looking at a Kentucky boy, Robert Oakleaf Jr. I'm not sure what pair he's on, but he has a high series of 878, high game 300. His averages is 231. Now, he's been bowling 15 years, but I've been bowling a lot longer than that.
I mean, it's, you shoot 878.
What's your highest series?
840.
See, I mean,
yeah, and that's
crazy.
Everything else I had in the 800s was little ones. 812 I think was probably the highest after that.
Well, 800 is harder.
When you're shooting 878, you missed once, maybe a fill ball for count. Yeah. I mean, that's tremendous. But a 231 average as well.
It's just crazy. Looking, and there's another.
We got another one. Ethan Ackerman, 842, 300 game, 228 average. Only bowled 4 years.
Yeah.
Like I said, we need to find the coaches, because they have got it figured out how to get these kids in shape and just moving up the ladder.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. How quickly these kids learn. Now, granted, they have a little bit more technology, more bowling balls to choose from. So that does help a little bit, but you still have to.
It's kind of relative. I mean, it's kind of relative because the big thing now is obviously you've got YouTube, you got the live streams, you've got things that you can witness, and there's more bowling that you can find to learn from, and so it's there's a lot more opportunities to learn, but the players who have those kind of scores and those kind of averages, they have the desire and the drive to find that and do it. So. It's a tremendous look.
I feel like these kids, from the ones I've seen, they work harder.
Yeah.
They're more dedicated. But equipment aside, you still have to have talent to shoot 800 because
Oh.
you're doing that over a 3-game period.
Yeah.
And to do it at that young of an age, you really got to put nerves aside.
Well, that's the thing. It's more than just physical game. The
yeah.
mental game has to come through for you as well. And
It's hard
there's
to
a lot
shoot.
of pressure.
Yeah, it's hard to say come out with a 300 game the first game and still come back the second game with a decent game because I mean, you get all excited, you're nervous, and that adrenaline.
Yeah, it's easy to get
done
lost in the nerves.
300,
easily.
180 in the second game. You know.
Yeah,
it's easy
to do. Yeah, I mean,
and,
it's
and being on the same pair.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. It's and on the right lane there is this young man, Devin Holland, and very smooth two-hander. But what a nice smooth game. You can tell he's going to be one of those that can make the adjustments. He's got the power, and it's probably just more and more knowledge that he'll pick up as he gets older. But he's off to a great start with wonderful physical game, very smooth.
Yeah, and these kids more than ever probably born on harder conditions more often than they do house conditions, which really helps people get better.
Well, as you know, I mean, today's equipment can really change the lane condition out there.
Oh,
they
yeah.
can move the oil around, take it up and lay it down somewhere else, and depending whether it's urethane or whatever. So there's a lot of adjustments that have to be made, and you have to see them. And you have to know your game and your equipment. There's a lot to the game this day and age.
Yeah, and if you don't know what to do with that equipment, you can take a house shot where it starts really easy. You can make it hard if you make the wrong moves.
Mm-hmm.
Just like you said, the
and
equipment changes.
it's not
it's
not necessarily in your hands either. It's depending everybody you're bowling with, where they're playing on the lanes. I mean, there's a lot of factors to that. You've got to be aware of the things that are happening around you and how the lanes are changing But you got to know whether it was the lanes or the shot you threw.
Yeah.
So it's there's a lot to it out there.
There's a lot more of watching your teammate and opponent, especially in these team situations than there was before.
Yeah.
Because you got to be aware if somebody's throwing urethane now.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, because that'll be a change that'll be happening quickly, and you're liable to have a couple errant shots before you realize it.
We have a boy up here on lane 22, Enrique Navarro. He made our state finals, Indiana State Finals show. Remind me, do you remember, was he the winner?
Was it this year? I don't know because
I
was on
look it
vacation.
up, but,
remember,
I
wasn't there.
I mean, that's been a few months, so really good bowler, 2-8-10 there. But let's go through the Indiana bowlers on this pair. As I said, Enrique Navarro, high series is 775, high game 279, average is 210. He's been bowling 15 years. Bowling in second is Hayden, and if I say this wrong, I'm sorry, Schmecker. High series of 698, high game 289, average is 202. He's been bowling 6 years. The third spots, we have Teddy Everett. High series is 725, high game 298, average is 199. Been bowling 9 years. And then in the anchor position is Nicholas Ransbottom. Averages 187. His high series is 741. High game 279. He's been bowling 13 years, so still some solid averages, solid games for these young players.
Yeah, just watching this pair here. I mean, the conditions look demanding.
Yeah, and I took a picture.
Things haven't opened up yet, but they look demanding, and you can see that. But I think it's once the young men here get relaxed a little bit and start loosening up, I think we'll see things change a little bit. But it looks demanding at this point.
Yeah, I took a picture of the pattern. It's a 40-foot pattern, 33.99 mil, so that's quite a bit of oil, really.
Mm-hmm.
If you're looking at it
that's
from
more to move around.
Yeah, it's about a 3.25 to 1 shot, so that's considered, well, with sports shot, is that still 4 to 1 or 3 to 1 now? But regardless, it's.
I just let my ball be my guide.
Yeah, it's challenging.
I mean, you can read graphs, and there's so many things that go onto it. It kind of gives you a starting spot, but as you know, I mean, ball reaction is
tricky.
the king. So
yeah. It can be tricky because I mean, even though this says it's 40 foot, we're seeing a lot of balls go really, really long. So it seems to be playing a
Yeah.
little bit slicker depending on where you're at on the
Mhm.
lane. So where they're at, what we have today is they're going to bowl 3 games, and then they're going to total all the scores for the team event, and that's going to give us who wins, Indiana or Kentucky. This also is their qualifying for singles, which we'll have this afternoon around 12:30, 1 o'clock. This afternoon we get into single elimination match play. It's 2-game total pins all the way until we get to the Final Four. Then we'll have a step ladder. We'll crown a champion for boys and girls. So that's kind of what we have on tap for today.
It's a great event. It's a
Yeah.
fun event. It's kind of a nice one for the players that have made it this, because they did earn their way here.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a nice event to kind of finish off the season, I guess, to a degree.
Yeah,
and
season finale.
Yeah. So
And really, this is kind of modeled off of the Indiana Kentucky basketball, which is kind of going. I think that's going on right now, or will be.
yeah, it is pretty much. And then
Yeah.
of course this is kind of the brainchild of George Webb. I
Yep.
think George has passed years ago, but George was one of the famous Indiana guys who have been around youth bowling for a long time, and was always a statue at the state tournaments and anything to do with the youth. George and Vera Webb were there and well recognized and remembered. So these things just don't happen, that's for sure.
Well, that's a lot of
Takes a
planning.
lot of people, yeah.
Yeah, when you have you're working with two state associations
Yeah.
here. You know.
Yeah. And it alternates between Kentucky and Indiana. So last year, I believe, was Expo Bowl.
Yeah, it was Expo because I remember.
I'm sure you do. Yeah. You can laugh now.
Well, yeah, not only did I get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to drive down from Lafayette, it's just embarrassing too to
Well, I mean,
be
but that
set
was
up
some-
and then
no,
you're tearing
no
down
fault of
and-
your guys, though.
Yeah,
that
yeah,
was no
so,
fault of yours. Hey,
but
sometimes
we rebounded
sometimes
pretty
the
well.
electronics don't always
well,
listen,
yeah,
do they?
you're working with technology.
Yeah.
So we don't have Scott this weekend. He's traveling in Illinois with his son's baseball.
Ah,
So I'm doing double duty.
should be good weather for that until tomorrow. Hopefully they get the game
Yeah,
in before
I don't
the
know if
rain
they play
comes
on
through.
Sunday or not, but yeah, he says he has got only a year or two left of this.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then,
Enjoy it while you can.
Yeah,
Was son did he just turn 16?
just turned 16. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he'll be in high school next year. So travel baseball, I think, starts later for them next year.
Mm-hmm. They got to finish
I think
their
it
high school
goes
stuff,
till
I'm sure.
June
First.
high school does. So
Yeah. I'll tell you what, just, when you look up and down, I mean, every one I see has a solid physical game. I
Yeah.
mean, just solid at the line, and they look like they know what to do with the bowling ball. So it's just a matter of figuring the lane conditions out and keeping those nerves away if you can, and make good shots.
yeah, and along with this is Indiana has quite the impressive win streak in this tournament, and Kentucky's due for one. It's been, I don't know how many years, but it's been quite a long time before Kentucky's won
I'll say
the
on
championship.
paper it looks pretty good for Kentucky.
Well, yeah, if these averages hold true,
Yeah.
you would think Kentucky's
Yeah.
going to be
Very,
really,
very
really competitive. Now, on the girls' side, we haven't touched on the girls because we don't have any girls in front of us. But obviously, Indiana has Kylie Trexler bowling in her last event
Yes.
of her
Just
high
a
school career.
Yeah, very strong youth career.
Head
Very
down
strong.
to Louisiana Tech. I talked to her father this morning, and they were down there all week and drove up here. I think he said they got in at like midnight last night.
And
So-
Kylie, she got high series of 781, high game of 299, high average of 233. Bowling 17 years. Yeah, Kylie's been around. We've seen every time we do one of these,
Yeah.
she's there. So
Yeah, and it's really been a pleasure watching her bowl the last, I want to say 5 years, because I I don't think she was on our live stream for middle school bowling, but she was bowling to the pair next to it, and that's when I kind of was like, who is that?
Yeah. She has a
Because
great
she throws
game.
it well.
Very solid physical game, strong mental game, and obviously has done very well in the state of Indiana for sure. Looks like the Kentucky All-Star girls are led by Abigail Hamilton. Abigail averages 203, but 748 high series, high game 289. 11 years bowling, so very solid leading that group from Kentucky.
And I brought up last year's standings because they put them on. There's a website out there I found, and looks like Indiana won state total by over 1,000 pins.
And that's from all the games bowled
Yeah,
all
for
day,
singles.
right?
Yep. Or for team, I'm sorry. Indiana girls won their part. And then for boys, where's boys at? Oh, they didn't put the boys totals. Oh, they have boys. Wait. Okay, the Indiana boys won their part, and then the Indiana girls won as well. And that's where, in this, I mean, Kentucky could win on the girls' side, but not the boys' side. But then
Total
Kentucky,
pins, yeah.
you know,
Could be enough,
win the overall.
Yep. You know, it's a really good event. The camaraderie's there between the two teams and the kids, and I'm sure a lot of them have met each other at Junior Golds and some other tournaments around, the scholarship tournaments and things. And so, yeah, it's not like when when I was younger, when you showed up at an event, there really wasn't much similar to this. But other than going to the national events, All-American Youth Championships and those type of things, I mean, you would find bowlers from obviously different areas, but nobody you'd ever seen before.
Right.
You might have read about them in a magazine. I mean, my senior year in high school, 1978, I was able to go to the All-American Youth Championships. So at that, it was just for graduating seniors. So and the proprietors handled that. It was the YBA, and so you had to win at your house level, then you had to win at your state, then you had to go to the regional, and then you got to go to the national. So for me, it was. I bowled at Nora Bowl. I bowled for Beach Grove Bowl, and then the state was at Nora Bowl, and then actually the regional was here in Louisville at Executive West.
Okay.
And so I won, but that was a group. I beat a gentleman, young man from not Rob Holland, but Bruce Holland, and Bruce was from Baltimore. So defeated him for it. Got to go to the national championships in Greenwich, Connecticut. And that is where it really changed for me because there was 8 in each level. You had a handicapped boys, handicapped girls, a scratch division, boys and girls. And so there I met Del Warren, who turned into a PBA champion and is heavy in the industry for Kegel and coaching Weber, or did coach Weber and Weber State University. I think it's Weber State down in Florida.
Weber, I think, yeah.
Yeah, in Florida. Yeah. And so he finished third. I actually led it, but lost the last game 210 to 200 to a gentleman named Jim Poulos, who was a left-hander out of Daly City, California. He actually went on tour before I did. He ended up winning 2 or 3 regionals, made a couple shows, but didn't last but a couple years. But it was really, really cool to see the different players. And on the girls' scratch side, Cheryl Daniels, who was just inducted to the Hall of Fame this year, won the girls' side. So it was quite interesting, some of the players that came out of that year. And the guest pros there were Billy Hardwick and Donna Adamick and June Llewellyn, who had won the Queens one year. But Donna Adamick, who was obviously a star in the mid 70s and 80s, and of course Billy Hardwick was a Hall of Famer for a long time. So really gave me a step up. And out of that, Billy Hardwick invited me to Florida to spend a couple weeks with him. Yeah. And so it was. I learned a lot, and all those type of things really came out of that tournament. So.
Yeah, he threw you up against some pretty good players.
Oh yeah, it was quite interesting. For match games. Pot games. Pot games down there. Yeah. Oh yeah. Butch Gerhardt was one, a 7-time PBA titleist, was the first one. And
were you nervous?
There's something to be said about young and not. Yeah. There's something to be said about young and naive, and not really understanding the magnitude of it. But actually bowling, another night in Florida at Don Carter Kindle Lanes, and Paula and Don Carter back there watching was quite interesting to do that, and so it was really fun. I mean, it just one of those things. I was down there 2 weeks and just learned a lot. More about pressure and things
Sure.
like that than anything. I tell you, spares look like they're key right now. I don't see a whole lot of strings going on on any of the pairs like we can see. I don't know if you can see better than I can or farther than I can. They kind of, the light scoring
Well, yeah, they put the light
in.
background on
Yeah.
there. It's kind of, they would be okay if the letters were black. Well, right here in front of us, Enrique's got a
Got the
strike,
three.
but 2 opens in 3 in a row.
Lined up with 3, so.
Have you been following the Senior Masters?
A little bit.
Yeah.
I saw Parker got up in the second, and was Dino still the leader there? He led the first
they're in
2
match
rounds,
play.
I know.
Yeah, they're in match play. Match
I
play
saw
now.
Walter and Pete Weber were
Still
in the
alive.
undefeated bracket,
Yep.
I think.
Yep.
Which
John
is good.
Burbage from up in our area. In
Oh,
Indiana, he made it, but he went 2 and out.
Ah.
But yeah, he was up in 4th
Oh, wow.
as far as I saw.
Yeah, that match game stuff, that's tough. You never
you
know.
know all about that.
Yeah, you never know whether you're getting a good pair. It doesn't matter whether it's good or bad, as long as you beat whoever you're bowling.
Yeah, because you stay on the same pair there and you're bowling 3
Yeah.
games. And if you don't have that pair, you're kind of getting ready for the next round or going home.
Well, and there's times, when you could have the lowest score of next to lowest score and still beat the guy you're bowling and still move on, and somebody who had the highest score or second highest score, they're out.
Yeah,
So-
no, I've seen, in the Masters where someone might shoot, 750, go to the next pair and win.
Yeah.
And then go to the next pair and shoot 560 and win.
Yep.
But,
It's all relative. You just got to stay focused on your pair.
You're just bowling against the lane condition and one other person.
Yeah.
It looks like the standings last year, Kylie Trexler actually won this event last year for the girls, and then Mason Hostetler for the boys. And I don't know if he is, I think he's in Indiana.
Looking at the girls, Alexis Jones is in Indiana.
She was finished
girl.
3rd.
She's here again. Paige France. See if we can find Paige, if she's still here or she's with Kentucky.
Look who finished 2nd last year in the boys, that Robert Oakleaf Jr.
Oh, well, we know he's here.
Yeah,
Yep.
he's at that
Kentucky,
230
strong
last year.
Kentucky player.
It looks like in the singles event, if you make the top 4, you get some scholarship money. So that's really cool.
Yeah, it's very good.
I'm gonna make my social media post here.
Oh.
I got double duty.
I was just noticing there was a young lady, France, who had finished last year. That's a famous name here in Kentucky.
Oh, it is.
Oh, it is. Used to be proprietor of the Executive Bowl West, Sonny France. His father, Lou,
I've
was
heard
a
that
PBA
name.
Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Very instrumental in the regional program starting. It's a very famous family and bowling family. Uh-oh. Set that one a little short. Devin there on lane 22. Looks like they're still just trying to feel out a little bit out there and see what the ball's going to do in different areas of the lane.
Looks like Enrique's got him figured out. He's got 4 in a row. He just, obviously in the 3rd frame was a split, but looks like,
There's a little hang there.
the
Looks
scores
like
aren't
it,
going to
doesn't
be too high. So like you said,
Yeah.
spares are going to be a little bit more of a key.
Right in front of us, there's fair misses, but boy, there's a lot of splits out there.
Yes.
Looks like the ball wants to hang a little bit if you get a little wide and you leave that 210, but then when you try to square up, it's like the 4-6 becomes in play.
A lot of these kids, I think, will see it Junior Gold, which is
Yeah.
next month in Indianapolis
Yep.
area. I say area because
they've spread us out a little
your
bit.
center in Lafayette.
We've
is
got the
hosting
U12,
under 12,
U12 division. Plus, we also have Team USA qualifying to start.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we have that as well on the 12th and 13th of July. Yeah.
Yeah, I
So
was
we're
there,
excited about that. Yeah.
you know, for middle school just a couple weeks ago, and the week before I was talking to Ski, and you guys are making preparations
Yeah.
to take out all the
All
bar
the,
seating to
yep.
put bleachers in, and I was like,
Yep, all the
What a
mod
major-
balls, we're going to put those. Well, and they didn't require that, but we wanted to try to make more room and,
It makes sense.
and best we can to
Yeah.
accommodate everyone. And the U12s will not be jumping around to the other centers. They'll just be at Arrowhead
Mm-hmm.
the entire time. So
no, and that makes sense because, I mean, we've seen the crowds we get for a high school in
Yeah.
Indiana. This is a national level. There's going to be a lot more people.
we're trying to change our menu so it's quicker and faster and people can get in and out. And so we're trying to be ready and do some different things to make sure everybody's comfortable and get everything they need. So it'll be fun because, you know, the opening, they're going to have the trade show part, which is going to be at the fairgrounds in Indianapolis.
Okay.
And then on the next day, on that Sunday, will be the opening ceremonies. They do Party in the Park, which will be at the White River State Park.
Okay.
And then they can walk across the street to Victory Field for the opening ceremonies.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so
Cool.
they've the committees have done a wonderful job of
Yeah.
getting that set up. And we actually had USBC and Junior Gold, Zach Barton and his crew in yesterday. They've been in for 3 or 4 days going to all the centers, and which this is the 3rd or 4th time they've been in just to make sure, and they were running cables and stuff, and because they'll be live streaming
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
So,
Bolt TV's doing their
yeah,
thing, and
so yeah, it's exciting. We're looking forward to it, and it'll be here before you know it.
yeah. I'll have to stop by Arrowhead those weekends and check
Oh
it
yeah,
out.
yeah. Get that media pass.
Yeah. Yeah,
And you-
because they charge to get in, don't they?
They do. It's you can buy a $30 pass, which encompasses everywhere, all centers. So
Oh, wow.
you get a lanyard and you just go to whatever center you want, the whole anytime. It doesn't matter, or it's $10 a day.
Well, and it's a good economic boost for the cities that are
Oh,
hosting.
yeah.
Anderson's hosting a portion of it.
Greenfield,
Greenfield,
And then
there's
Indianapolis.
Indianapolis
yeah,
centers.
Royal Penn in Indianapolis.
It used to be where it's just all in Indianapolis, but
Right,
it's just grown so much.
Yeah, and we're filling in for All Star, who had it last time a couple years ago when they had it, so we're filling in for them. But our division has 386 entries in it, so it's one of the smaller groups.
Yeah.
But it's U12, which is, you know, you've got a chance to have players or bowlers who've been for a couple years already been in that, but it's could be a lot of them's first shot at Junior Gold, so they get the feel for it all, and so I think that's exciting. That you know, it's going to be new for them, and we're going to be part of that. So
Yeah, they didn't have Junior Gold when I was around. I think it was.
but it's
man.
man,
Our very own Scott Savage win the very first one, Junior Gold?
I don't know.
He won
Mine.
one.
I mean, what a
But-
great event, though. I mean, you
Yeah.
know, you look at it, it's
Good
kind of like the
scholarship
Open
money.
Championships, and it's kind of like all that, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
They've got so many, there's side tournaments, and, well, you know, next weekend is the Storm Youth Championships in Indianapolis at Royal Penn.
Yeah.
And that's Expo Bowl and Western Bowl, so that's a big event.
Man, the opportunities these kids have are unbelievable.
Oh, it is.
I
Now
mean,
you got to do some traveling. The parents
Yeah.
have got to be willing to make that trip, but you know, and I would say 99.9% of the parents, if they're bowling and things like this, they're committed.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
For
yeah.
sure. It's just like
And it's fun. I mean, it's great. It's a great experience.
yeah, it's just like Scott and his son with Little League
Yeah.
Baseball. They're traveling everywhere, and
We
they're
did the
committed.
hockey thing too.
Yeah.
It's a lifestyle and a commitment.
It's right. It's right.
Oh. But yeah, they'll be live streaming the Storm Championships next week. I know Blair from Storm will be on there, and I believe Gary Holzenberg, and Gary Holzenberg, if nobody knows that, but it's Leanne Holzenberg, who used to be Leanne Barrett.
Leanne Barrett. She was one of my
Hall
favorite.
of Famer. Oh,
Yeah.
what a power player.
Yeah.
You know, she was one of the really first really
Yep.
strong power players. Great people. They are so nice. Great people.
Yeah, you appeared on their live stream once, didn't you? On the Storm. They do that weekly
Yes. Mm-hmm.
thing on
what was it
Facebook.
called
I think it was
back then?
kind of started during COVID.
Yeah, during COVID.
Yeah.
Well, they had a special name for that. It was kind of cute, but it was fun. It was really. They always had that where you pick the shark or Gary created all these different things. Were you a shark or a tiger? Which one? If you had to be a person, and you're stuck somewhere with a shark or a tiger, which one would you survive with or whatever? It's like, okay, I don't swim very well, so it's not the shark.
Right.
And I don't run very well, so it's really not the tiger either. So.
So we'll have standings after each game as they're given to us. I'll take a picture of them and post on our Facebook page. It's Savage Bowling TV on Facebook. They don't have an online presence for the standings this year, so we'll do the best we can. We'll also give the updates verbally. So as we go along.
Do we know? Did everybody? I assume everybody showed up and all that. Do we have any of that information? Are we missing anybody? Or
No, it doesn't sound like it.
Yeah.
I wonder how they would handle that. I mean, I guess it
Yeah,
would
I
just be
dropped the low score maybe. Or I was wondering that driving down there. I was thinking, well, what happens?
Yeah, I mean, if there's
too many
like
on
say
one,
if
or
Kentucky's missing a boy,
Yeah.
I guess they don't get a blind score.
I mean, because otherwise that's too much of an advantage if you got more players. I mean, that,
Yeah.
you know. I would assume maybe just drop the low one, but maybe that's not even an issue. So. I haven't heard that anyway.
No. And they started on time, so usually, if somebody hadn't shown up,
Yeah.
kind of see a little bit of a delay to see if they do show up. Practice actually started before 9.
Yeah, no,
when it was scheduled to start at 9.
Yeah, the
so.
staff and the tournament directors certainly are on it today. They start out really good. Good group of people.
Yeah. So for Indiana, I'm not sure how Kentucky does it. For Indiana, they have how they get here is they have a Masters and Queens tournament, usually held around the end of April. It kind of concludes their state tournament, so they'll come in and it's a one-weekend event. On Saturday, do all the qualifying, and Sunday, if you make the top 16, that's how you get here. And then on Sunday, of course, they have the match play portion to crown champions. I think Kentucky does it a similar process. So you're really getting the best of the best.
Yeah, it's fun looking at all the stats and what the kids are doing.
Yeah,
now,
I'm
I'll
glad
tell
we
ya.
have that.
Yeah, it's nice to have that for sure. I agree. And like you said, some of them was amazing. 3 years bowling, 4 years, and they're here. Wow. Take the crossovers anytime you can get them. Teddy ever getting that crossover, he'll take it.
Yeah, and then I think that how the Indiana picks their teams is the top bowlers are captains, and then they have like a draft.
Oh, okay.
So they're bowling with people they know, and which is kind of cool because
Yeah.
they're all around the state. And I remember. Oh, he's got urethane.
I think there's a couple out there with urethane.
Yeah.
It's
No,
come back. I might get some of those old balls out of the garage. That might be worth something.
Well, looking around the center, that ball over there.
Yeah.
You recognize that? The blue zone.
Oh,
Pro.
yeah.
They've got a lot of old bowling balls
yeah.
on the racks here as
I
house
made some money
balls.
with that ball, that kind of ball.
There's a black Rhino Pro.
Oh, wow. Vintage.
Yeah, so it's kind of cool.
Can't see what that one. It's got like the old insert in it above the fingers.
And then, was it this rack or rack down there? I heard Kylie Truxner's dad say, "Look, there's a yellow dot."
Yellow dot, for those that you may not remember that would be a ball that Mark Roth dominated the 70s with.
Well, yeah,
Columbia.
and then Kevin McCune's grandpa
Oh yeah, Don.
He was that the ball they were talking about?
I'm not so sure. I'm not sure which ball. I would assume it really didn't matter.
The soaker.
Yeah, the soaker. I don't think it really mattered which one it was, but it still got the same effect. It made that cover stock very, very soft.
Yeah.
But no, it was an innovation at the time. I mean, it really was.
It wasn't illegal.
No.
So
no, it was very, very forward thinking, and and actually, what came out of that was the softer and softer equipment.
Yeah, speaking of Kevin McCune, that was so cool watching him finally get his breakthrough moment, wins the title.
And what a spot to do it, too.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, all the players he went through to get there.
And you could almost see him growing up each match.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, you really could, because he held himself in check from getting too high, too low, too upset, too relaxed, and just made wonderful, wonderful shots. And a ball that is so powerful, and he's so strong, and he can get a handful like
we've seen.
E.J. Tackett obviously gets a handful. We're talking two guys with the thumb in the ball that can compete with the two-handers.
Yeah, and we saw Kevin. He got it sighted in the right moments.
Mm-hmm.
Early on in those early matches, he was kind of quiet and timid, like you said.
Yeah.
And then as he got that confidence is when you started seeing him come out of his shell a little bit, like slapping it out, running out.
Well, you could see, especially the E.J. Tackett match. E.J. obviously very strong. He made some comeback. He came back in that match and then gave a little bit of an opening, and boy, Kevin just went right through the door.
Yeah.
It was just phenomenal.
Somebody in that spot for the first time not necessarily going to do that.
No, and in that format, it's over. It's not like the show is just one show and you're done. That you had to keep going and coming back, and that's quite the event.
Well, I was kind of worried after the first show because he didn't look comfortable. Was it the right lane? And Buddy had the week to kind of talk about it, figure it out, because they went and did the doubles the next week. So.
No, that was one heck of a matches that he went through, and good for the McCune family. Three different levels. Grandpa, Dad, and then Kevin. So it's
it was so funny after he won his won the title, and Kimberly interviewed him, and he says, "I have one more than my dad on the major side." It's the exact same thing he said to you when he won the Indiana State Masters. I have one more than my dad.
Yeah.
So we're going to see that again.
Oh yeah, yeah. He's going to
when he gets more titles than his dad.
Don, Don.
Yeah. And his grandpa.
Yeah. So he's a young man, and he's a good kid. Kid. Good representative of the state, the sport, and his companies that he represents.
Oh sure. I saw a girl down to our left on 17-18. Now I can't see it, but she had a string to finish the game. There's a top bowler on the left lane, like on 17. It was a Kentucky bowler, I believe.
Looks like
I can't see what
237 possibly.
Yeah, she strung out for 237.
Yeah, if she went to the sheet in the 10th, it's 237.
So that's the highest game we've seen so far.
Yeah, by far. Yeah.
Enrique right in front of has 205. Let's look to it right.
205 with two opens, so he figured it out a little bit there. There's somebody at the front four down there, but they had a couple opens.
It's so hard to see.
That's when it's in the one that's in the blue. I can see that.
Yeah. The girls, right to our right, there's a 214 on the left lane.
Good score. Good score right now.
Mm-hmm. And of course, we can't see down at the other end.
But we just haven't seen the strings, and I said, there's a lot of difficult spares out there, a lot of splits.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the first game. I think they're still trying to feel their way through it and kind of get that confidence going, and you know what the ball's going to do twice.
Yeah, and what's nice is they're going to stay on the same pair, so it's not like they're going to another pair, which could be a disadvantage too, because what if you go to another pair and it's really good?
Yeah. When you start moving pairs, then with no practice, and your first two frames are your practice.
Yeah, you're just guessing at that point.
The key there is to make the best shot you can so that you at least can get a read off of it.
Yeah, I would always, when I move pairs, I'm just going to stand in the same spot as I finished on, and just adjust from there.
Totally agree. Oh, crossing
nice
over. Nicholas Ransbottom for Indiana there on lane 21, catching the crossover, but for a double. So
yeah,
those pins add up.
Yeah, it looks like Kentucky's kind of, they've got the edge on this.
Yes,
well, they're going to win this.
Yeah. This game anyway. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's wide.
And
on the
then
right.
down here to our left, it looks like Kentucky won on the girls' side. They're kind of not going on to the next game. I'm not sure why. I don't know if they don't have recap sheets.
Or they wait till do they wait until everybody's done with one and then go again?
I think so.
They
may
must
not
be
have a
doing
recap
that.
sheet yet.
Yeah, they must.
So I didn't see anybody come through. You do see players playing multiple angles. Kylie finishes with
158.
Ooh, not a good start for her.
Yeah, she started out with 2 opens and then added another one in the 8th. So
Yeah. Well, knowing her, she'll figure it out
Yeah.
and come back. Really, I mean, you're just trying to figure out the condition right now because all these bowlers are going to go to the match play.
Yeah.
And really doesn't matter what seed you are in match play. Not really. I don't think.
yeah, if the 3 or 4 pairs in front of us here that we can see, I think Kentucky could be up by 300 or 400 pins just in the 3 or 4 pairs we see.
That's right. I talked to a father last night or yesterday afternoon. We came in to set up. He said that he thought Kentucky had a pretty strong team this year.
It looks like definitely on paper.
And then
sure.
after seeing this, I'm like, well, maybe I have a shot. It's obviously, we don't see these bowlers like we do the Indiana bowlers. So, oh, somebody's got a
that's Riley Spear.
long string down there. I don't see what he had the first 2 frames.
Looks like he's
Open maybe.
Strike spare. I think it's strike spare. He's
He's going for 280.
Yeah.
That's another good bowler in Indiana.
Yeah, Riley,
He's won a state title. He won 2 years ago. Left-hander, 2-hander.
Yep.
I don't think he has a 11, does he? Is that 300?
He might. You're right. He might.
Let me go to it.
Yeah, he might. Yeah, well, I thought it was a spare, but I think you're right. Yeah.
And the whole house is stopping because he has the front 11.
There's the front 11. Here's the shot.
Oh, 297.
297. That's a
Wish we could have had that on camera.
good run for the first game.
Yeah.
Good run.
Well, that's a heck of a start
Indiana
right
needed
there.
that.
Yeah.
Indiana needed that.
Yes.
297.
Now everybody's stopping, so I'm wondering.
They must be holding them up until they finish.
Or they don't have recaps.
Or they don't have recaps. Good point. And you necessarily don't need them unless you have a scoring issue.
Yeah, if you have. And the kids are holding. They were told to hold up flags if they needed help, so they're holding up their flags.
Well, right here they have a deadwood here in front of us.
Yeah. Well, even like some of the girls here to the right are even looking kind of confused. Like, what do we do now?
Yeah. Yeah, 297. Obviously, I believe that's probably going to be a high game for the first game.
Sure. Absolutely.
If not already for the tournament, but good start by Riley Spear.
All right, as we wait to go on to the second game, we will go ahead and take a quick break. And we'll be back in just a couple short minutes. All right, we're back. Game number 2. We just got a standings update, and believe it or not, it is tied.
Yeah, I know. He's not down there yet.
57-02 for each state after one game. What are the odds?
Unbelievable.
So for the Kentucky girls, they had 28-47 to Indiana girls 27-31. So the Kentucky girls are leading on their side. On the boys' side, Kentucky had, I'm sorry. I read that wrong. No, that was the boys. So the boys had 28-55 for Indiana, or for Kentucky. 29-71 for Indiana.
Boys, that's boys' side.
Boys' side. Girls' side, I was correct. Kentucky had 28-47. Indiana had 27-31. For the total of 57-02 for each team. Leading, let's see how they have these. They don't have it sorted. Obviously, on the boys' side, Indiana boy Riley Spear had 297. Second place for the boys. Looks like another Indiana boy of 216, Mike and Haybeger. So those are your top two. Third place, Robert Oakleaf Jr., 210. He's a Kentucky boy. So scores aren't really too high outside of Riley's score. What is on the what do we have on the girls?
Girls' side, highest game so far by Skylar Holt from Kentucky, 237, which she was just to the left of us, which we saw that. Looks like the second highest score, looks like it's 224, Alexa Escamilla from Indiana. Looks like there's a couple other 200 games here. Looks like maybe Kaylee Blaine from Kentucky, 214. We've got a 202 by Allison Jen from Kentucky, and Kendall Craig. And Caitlin Nelson shot 200 from Kentucky. There's a 217 by Madison Turley. I'm sorry, by Alyssa Cash in Indiana. And that would round, and there's a 203 by Caden Beatty. So that rounds out the 200 games for the girls. Yeah, unbelievable. I mean, because if you looked around us, it looked like Kentucky was going to be just dominating. So,
oh, yeah.
But that's why we don't predict, right? Or I did, and I won't anymore.
Well, as a spectator of the sport, I don't want anybody to run away with it.
Looks like they're not going to
this,
after the first game anyway.
No.
But you're right. Riley Spears, 297 was a phenomenal game and obviously a big game in this. When you look at it, 116 pin, victory on the boys' side for the first game. Not a victory, but just a lead.
Right.
97 of those pins were Riley Spears. Be interesting to see if the bowlers are able to make some adjustments after that first game. Even if you start out tough, and have some opens early, it's tough to finish that game back off. But when you're starting fresh again, then it kind of gives you a new lift to start over here. So we'll see how that turns out there.
Right. And yeah, I mean, Riley now has to calm his nerves.
Yes.
And start all over. Getting ready to get our standings posted on our Facebook page, so you guys in the watching can go to our Facebook page. It's Savage Bowling TV on Facebook and see the standings.
And the girls' high game that time was by Skylar Holt from Kentucky. She actually has a high series of 693, high game of 259, but her average is 179. So bowling for 9 years. She had the
really
high game. Yeah.
For her, yeah. Cool. My social media post is done.
I'm not sure what the stats for Riley are. Do you, Riley Spear?
Yeah, there he is.
Yes, yeah. High series of 805 for Riley Spear in his career. High game 300. Average 232. 13 years bowling. But like you said, he is a state champion in Indiana. As well.
That's right. How many team competitions did you bowl in? Did you ever bowl the old Brunswick World Team Challenge, or were you eligible?
Yeah, I was. I did. We never did all that well. I made one show, but it was fun. When I first started, the classic division in the ABC tournament, which is where the pros could bowl, in '79 when I started. Well, that's the year it ended. So, but then I got to had some good friends on tour. Of course, Steve Cook, my brother-in-law, but Steve Martin out of Tennessee, who won 8 or 9 titles, 10 titles. Bob Handley, 7 titles, and then so we always thought we'd want to bowl together as a team, but there was really nothing to do. Then the team challenge came out, and so we were still limited. So, but we did get to bowl. Probably the most fun we ever had was it was myself and Steve Wunderlich, Bob Handley, Dick Weber.
Wow.
We just had a blast bowling with Dick Weber. Such an honor to bowl with Dick,
sure.
and it was actually the best one we ever bowled in. So we had a blast, though. It was fun, and so I bowled a few of those because it gave me the opportunity to bowl with the guys that we always wanted to kind of have fun and bowl together. So, yeah. And now, it's a little bit different now. The Open Championships, there's an opportunity to still bowl, because I think, watching. Well, it was a big set here not too long ago with Bill O'Neill, and Jeff Fair's team.
Yeah, and they're leading right now.
Yeah.
And I think they're leading all events too, right?
I think so. Yeah,
play
they had
all
quite the
sports
weekend.
together,
Yeah, quite the weekend. And I think Walter Ray just came from there, and I know some guys were coming out there as they were bowling tournaments in Vegas. So, which is cool that they get you get to bowl that.
They should have a.
Yeah, they should go back to Classic Division. That was always pretty cool.
Well, and the PBA has their national championship that's going on right now, and they have that. Is it the All-Star Division or whatever?
Yeah.
That the pros. That's kind of the division for the pros. And there's a lot of players bowling.
There is a lot. Yeah.
This weekend, maybe.
Yeah, I saw on Facebook. Yeah, they were advertising that, or at least showing it. But back then they had the Classic Division was always. I mean, they had famous Don Carter gloves, and Columbia, the bowling ball company, sponsored, and so it was kind of cool because there was only probably 20 or 25 teams or so, and then they cut down to the top so many, and they would be match play, for the last couple, and I mean, it was just the Classic Division was very cool.
Yeah. Yeah, back in the day, it was always frowned upon. I felt that the professionals couldn't bowl. Some
in a
of
lot
the
of
events
respects.
that we bowled as normal bowlers.
Yeah,
And
a lot of
now it
respects.
seems like they're a little bit more open to it.
Well, I think some of the league bowlers, their averages are higher and they feel more competitive and don't necessarily look at it as a there's a lot more people get opportunity to be on TV through Facebook, podcasts, whatever, streaming, so there's a lot more exposure to that too, which makes it a little bit different.
Oh yeah.
At least how it's viewed anyway, for sure.
Starting to see some of these shots start to go through the nose. So you got to wonder.
Is it time?
Starting to break down a little bit.
Yeah. And we're still seeing open frames and a few strikes. So yeah, it's.
And we're also on a pretty high friction surface, so that's probably why the initial volume is so high.
Yeah.
You're going to see it change and go away quite a bit. They should be re-oiling for singles, I would imagine.
Do they? I'm not sure.
And there's a break. I mean, we get to go to
That's true.
a short break for lunch. And you see that ball. You can see it roll early in the mid part of the lane.
Yeah, this right now the condition as well as you want to get a lot of breaks because there's a lot of hidden sand traps out there. Hazards, I guess would be a better way because it could be water or sand, right?
there's a
Nice shot. Yeah, nice shot there on 22.
there's a reaction because of the weak 10 because of carry down.
Nicholas Ransbottom. He had the front 3, left the 10 pin. Don't want to let those spares get away from you, though.
Oh, no.
Especially the makeable ones.
Oh, sure. I always felt, for me, being left-handed, that the 10 pin was harder than the 7 pin.
Well,
I miss more 10 pins than 7. Well,
you just don't know what you're crossing. You know, as you know, it's just you're crossing everybody's patterns, and you're just not sure it's going to slide, hook, or what.
Well,
7 pin, you're going to fairly firm and straight, and you can kind of be a little more predictable usually.
It's hard because even with the spare ball, if that right side's fried, it's going to hook.
I used to try to always hook it across, play out in the drier area where I knew it was going to hook, and let it float across, which is good and bad. Nowadays, everybody just throws as hard as they can and straight. So
I'll hook it at a 10 pin on a house shot, but I don't know what I don't think I would try to do it on a sport shot where you don't know where the ball's going to go.
And it changes so often, so you don't know.
Oh, yeah. Enrique's trying to do the same thing, but he's doing it with resin.
He's got a couple opens or splits already, so but he came back last game with that. He had a couple opens.
How was the drive down here this morning?
It was good. I tell you what, there's an area that I'm glad I was going south and not north. They had a big semi that was over. They were trying to pick up on the side. It was backed up for about a mile and a half north of, it was south of Seymour there, but probably about 30 minutes out from here. Hopefully by the time we go back north, it'll be good, which it should be.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I probably wouldn't have been here till about now. It's a beautiful morning out, though. Beautiful morning.
Oh, yeah, perfect.
Yeah, we get these cool days here in June still. Cool mornings, and
we got here about 1:45 yesterday afternoon and sat up and checked in at the hotel, had dinner, and just kind of relaxed.
Took it easy,
rest of the evening. Pretty good crowd here.
Yeah.
Today.
Very solid, yep. It's not as busy as some of the other tournaments where you have to have your periscopes and ladders and
college tournaments.
Of course, I don't know. They've tried to eliminate most of the ladders, I think, nowadays.
Well, yeah, we ran the Boilermaker Classic at your center, which is a college tournament.
Yep.
And, all the parents bringing their periscopes. The homemade ones, too.
Oh, I know. They must be pretty good.
Yeah, they're pretty.
I'm not sure I could figure that out.
The mirrors and stuff.
Yeah.
But the way they decorate them, it's pretty cool. But they have the ladders and then the camping chairs. And it's the same way high school bowling, too.
You got to watch because those are liabilities, Boy, you do not want to get it too far to the right.
No.
If you catch a head pin, it's a 210. And if you're lucky, it stays on the lane and you just get the 1, 2, 4.
Well, you got to wonder if that weird thing going down the middle will play havoc on these bowlers that are trying to swing it, too. Another 10 pin. I remember when if I was missing 7 pins in a tournament, like the weekend before, I'd practice.
Shoot them, yeah.
I'd make myself practice them.
Yeah, and when I would practice, I wouldn't shoot them for score. So
no,
just,
never.
Try a few strikes, and then whatever I left, then I'd just shoot the 7 pin anyway, and just
Well, see, that ball just kept going. Didn't
skated.
make the turn.
Yep. And he's lined up.
Yeah.
We're talking about Nicholas Ransbottom there on
Nicholas. Yeah, you got to remember. You got to wonder when he's going to get out of the urethane.
We got Devin Holland here on the right. Very solid game, nice and smooth two-hander.
Keeping it simple.
Good shot, high of leaving the 4.
Looking, so we have a program in front of us, and I noticed in the back of it, It had some alumni, past participants. And there's some names in here. I mean, it's got the years.
Wow, very nice records.
There's Scott Savage, 98, 99, 2000. TJ Schmidt, we know him, 08, 09. These are Indiana guys right now. I thought I saw Matt Sanders in here. Oh, yeah, Matt Sanders, who's on tour. 2009, 2011, 2012, 2014.
Wow.
Do we have an EJ Tackett? I wonder. There's S. EJ Tackett, 1 year, 2009.
Yep.
Zach Tackett was the 2012, 2013, 2014. Zach Weidman, 2009, 2010, 2012, 2013, 2014. Wow, what a career
Yeah,
for
he
him.
made a lot of trips.
Well, here's a Kentucky All-Star participant on the girls' side, Tish Carpenter, 98, 99, 2000, 2001, 2002, 2003. Oh, here's one even. Oh, my. Ledeanna Dameron, 98, 99, 2000, 2001, 2002, 2003, 2004, 2005. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of these. You just pulled every year. And you know they're pretty good bowlers if they're in.
Oh, every year.
They're making
yeah.
it to this level every
Yeah.
single year.
Yeah.
Trying to look for any other big names. I know Daniel Ferris, who was in the booth
Yes.
with you last time
Yes.
we were here, he made it a couple years. Yeah, he was 04, 05, 06, 07, and 08.
Wow.
He's up. We tried to get him to help you, but today.
Oh,
but he's
we're in good
bowling
shape
a
with you,
PBA
Jan.
regional up in Jackson, Michigan. Up at one of Dave Small centers.
Ah. Michigan. They're in Michigan.
But yeah, it's really cool that they put basically everybody that's ever bowled. Trying to think of Robert Oakleaf. He's been 19, 21, and 22. So there's another familiar name in the Louisville area.
Oh,
Matt
yes.
Ogle, 99, 01, and 02.
Now out on the tour.
Yeah, won his first title this year.
Singles
Almost
title,
got his
yeah.
second, first singles
Yeah.
title.
They already had doubles with Sean.
They had a
Rash,
doubles, and then they
correct?
went for another doubles this year.
Yeah.
He had a really good year. I kind of feel like this is a breakout year for him because he made a lot of shows, a lot of good cashes. Brett Shepard, he won the Lafayette Open at the tournament Scott and I used to run 1 year. And he was here in 08, 1 year.
It's fun looking back at the years and see who has actually participated, which tells you how long this tournament's been going on.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a history at the beginning of this book too. So Bob Carter was another, I think, who George Webb worked with on this. These are scholarships. George Webb was just put in the Hall of Fame, Indiana Hall of Fame
The
last
state,
year.
yeah, the state side, USBC side. Yeah.
Mhm.
He'd already been in the youth.
Yeah, yeah. So we have a history, but it doesn't show us what year it was. Oh, 1997. It was the first annual was in Expo, Kentucky winning the very first annual one in 1997, 15,489 to 15,183. And here we are at 26. The last time, so Indiana. Indiana's won the last 5 tournaments. Last time Kentucky won was in 2016 by a little less than 500 pins. But looking at it's been heavily dominated by Indiana since this tournament's been going on. And it's crazy to look at these total scores.
Yeah.
15,000, and now these total scores are in the 18,000s. And it tells you the scoring pace is just getting higher and higher.
Yeah.
What a great tournament. All right, 7th frame of this second game. Moving right along, actually.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely a spare morning.
Mm-hmm.
A couple people are throwing some strikes.
Trying to see what Riley's got down there. Not going to see it until he's
gets to the
actually
booth.
up.
Yeah, right.
One name we didn't see in this year was Caden Russell. Really good bowler from
surprising.
Indiana, Ronnie Russell's son.
Russell's son. Yeah, he's had a great career in the youth. He's moved on out of the youth now. Now he's.
Is he out of the youth?
Well, I think so.
Really?
I don't know what's next. I think
well, yeah, I guess
college.
he is a senior, right?
Yeah, he's a senior. He graduated. Yeah. I'm not sure if he picked a college or he's doing that or not. I'm not sure.
Man, what a great opportunity he had to bowl with his dad on TV.
Oh, yeah, that was
on that
pretty
father-son
cool.
doubles,
Yeah,
or
cool.
the, you know.
Yep. Talk about getting experience.
Well, yeah, these kids are getting much more TV experience at a younger age.
Yeah, that's huge.
Which has helped some bowlers. You know, when they make their first PBA show, I was in TV in college, and
yeah, Caden's another one we got to watch kind of grow up and evolve into very, very strong player.
Right.
With a lot of potential to whatever he wants to do.
Looks like Kylie's still struggling down there. Filling some space.
That's her first open this game, yeah.
Yeah, she's filling frames. She's having a hard time striking, it looks like. You know, a lot of these kids, if they struggle, they're smart enough to figure, learn what they've done here to make changes for match play this afternoon.
It's just it's the time where you just kind of got everything to slow down a little bit for you, so you can think about it and get back and pace instead of just start throwing. All of a sudden you look and you're in the 8th frame and it's like the game's almost over. You just got to slow things down a bit.
Well, I don't know how many times for me when I bowled tournaments kind of like this, where you have a morning block and then you have an afternoon block. Where morning, and I just felt terrible up there. Timing was off, and I'm like, this is going to be a bad day. But then you come back in the afternoon and you're like, it's perfect.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, whether it's just your body slowing down or whatever. Oh, I thought he had that.
Yeah, I thought it was going to break just enough to get it.
Well, he threw it pretty straight. It came off of his hand almost like a backup ball, it looked like.
And that was Brandon Paget from Kentucky. First open in the game for Brandon. He's had double spare turkey, so he has still shooting in the 2 teens through 7.
I bet. Yeah.
Maybe it's handicapped.
Yeah, I think we're looking at the standing. So if you see the standing sheet on Facebook, you'll see where it says individual high game and individual high series for girls and boys. Like we're seeing Krista Gwynn 265. Well, she's not even bowling, so I bet they didn't take that off from last year. They're using last year's template or whatever.
Yeah.
But we know the team totals are correct. And same way with the boys side. Yeah, there's individual high series. Caden Russell last year at 690.
Oh, yeah.
So
yeah.
Threw me for a loop. I was like, oh, I think we said the wrong thing. I was like, okay.
Yeah, because I was like, well, wait a minute.
There wasn't somebody shot 265 on the girls' side. Kind of almost feel like the scoring pace was higher last year then. Scores are pretty low on this pair that we're watching here. Now, when they seed everybody for the match play, that first round of match play, there'll always be an Indiana player bowling a Kentucky player. He wasn't sure, was he?
Yeah, had to wait that one out.
Yeah.
And then the look on his face told it all. Seemed like shock.
Blowing off to her right here, it's Alexis Jones, who's our Indiana high school state champion in 2023. Saw Chris was here watching. He was sitting back there somewhere. So.
Yeah, the outside part of the lane, just watching just a couple pair here. Boy, it does not.
I saw that
want to
on
come
link
back.
25. You saw that off to your right of your screen.
Well, we've
That's
seen a couple
Carly
of gutter
Lamont.
balls here in front of us as well. Just he gets out there and just does not move. Very demanding condition out there today.
Love that they have their names on the back of their
Yes.
shirts.
Yes, it is. Obviously, Kentucky in blue and Indiana in orange. I believe it's orange.
Yeah, they got nice looking uniforms this year.
I'm colorblind, so you have to fill me in if I'm incorrect on the shade of
That's why
color.
Scott and I send you pictures of what we're
Yeah,
wearing.
exactly. That's why.
Yeah.
That's why I look at the pictures and go, do I have that? And I think you have the shirt on I have on, but you wore a jacket here.
Yeah,
so
it's cold in here.
It's a little Antarctic-ish. The air conditioning is working well today.
Yeah.
For the bowlers, it's probably perfect.
Oh, it's perfect. That's why I said I'd rather be bowling today because it's like so cold in here. That's how it should be.
Yep. Especially in the morning, you got to start out cold because once it warms up, it's tough for these buildings to catch up.
I remember, working in a bowling alley for all those years it would be cold and people would complain. And it's like, well, you're not bowling.
Yeah.
Your kid is sorry. That's how
They'll
it
be
should
fine out
It
there,
needs to be
yeah.
cold for whoever's watching.
Yeah, you got to start out that way. Once it warms up in the summer in Indiana or Kentucky, either one, it will not catch up
Anywhere,
until
yeah.
the sun goes down.
Well, and you don't. It's so hard for a building like this to
Yeah.
stay as
Well,
cold.
the doors open. We'll see the doors open and shut, and you
Yeah.
know, it's tough to do that. You know, just coming from Vegas last week for a fundraiser for the museum, you talk about Antarctica. You know, Vegas has those dudes.
Yeah,
just
yeah,
cold
they've got
and
that down
get out.
pat.
Yeah, man.
Oh, you raised some money for the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, it was our
the
biggest
museum.
biggest year ever so far. We had our extravaganza tournament, which is a really fun event, doubles event. Strikes don't count, so it's always interesting to see what the format's going to be when you get there. But raised just over $119,000 for the museum and Hall of Fame.
That's
so,
awesome.
Yeah, it's exciting. Very
That's
exciting.
awesome. I saw you throwing a house ball.
Yeah, 11-pound house ball.
11 pound?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, anything heavier than that, I couldn't hold on to it. Probably the finger.
Oh, because they
Yeah.
make the finger hold so
Yeah.
big, right?
So the event is it's doubles, and you would only bowl one ball per frame each person. So your partner and you would just bowl one shot for one frame. So the games are made up by John Lazito, a proprietor out of Nebraska, Sun Valley Lanes, and great guy, former PBA guy, and Nancy Schenk, who is a former BPAA president and a BPAA Hall of Famer, and they come up with the event, and depending how diabolical they like to be, so we have a Thursday night opening is our reception in the VIP lanes at Red Rock Lanes Casino, and we gather up a few Hall of Famers, and we get to demonstrate the games while everybody else enjoys food and drink in the back and laughs at us. And so they introduce the games, and two of the staples of the event are odd and even. So if it's an odd game, if you get an odd pin count, you get whatever pins you get. If you get an even during the odd game, you get 0.
Oh.
So same way at the even game, if you get odd, you get 0. Strikes never count in any of the games. Only in the 12 years we've been there, strikes have counted twice in one game. So don't count on So what happens is people start just bringing their shoes. They use house balls because
why not?
They'll have a game called Headless Horseman where there's no head pin. This year it was the Headless Horseman with no guts. So there was no 1 or 5.
Oh.
And if anybody would get 2 strikes in a row, they would stop the field, and there was a bonus of $3,000 if they could throw the third one. And
so that's the only time you wanted
Gus
to knock them all down.
Gus Falsion from Kegel got the double, but couldn't quite close the deal and left a 6-pin. Really phenomenal. And but then they do a game called High and Low, so they'll have a huge deck of cards out there. They'll draw a card, so it's got to be high or low. And those games, they play a game called bingo, and it just all these different games. You've got to pay attention.
Yeah, that sounds like fun.
And it is, because you really don't know what it is until they bring it out on that first night of the reception. So, and then they have so you have one squad on Friday, and then but Friday mornings the bingo. It's an included bingo game when there's $50 and $25 prizes, and it's open to anybody that bowls the tournament. Then they have another squad the next day, and then we have our awards little cocktail party in the afternoon. $20,000 in cash and prizes.
Oh, wow.
Over 25% of the field gets a door prize, whether it's Brunswick, Storm, bowling ball. There's towels. There's, I believe Scott Devers was given a Golden Knights robe.
Oh,
So
robe.
yeah, a robe. Yeah. So there's all sorts of fun prizes there, and
Nice.
and a couple of our proprietors, Al Blau and Jamie Brooks, Jamie Brooks got 100,000 pins a couple of years ago at the USBC,
Oh, yeah.
and was just inducted in the USBC Hall of Fame. They have finished in the top 10 the last 3 years, and they are 172 years old combined.
Oh.
And it doesn't necessarily. Wes Malott actually bowled this year.
I saw
and
that.
I believe he got a check, not by a lot. So it's being a pro or a great bowler doesn't necessarily matter because the format. And as usual, every year, this year first place to the 19th place cash was 101 pins difference.
Wow.
So the games are really keeps everybody close.
It's
and,
fair.
And it's fun. and everybody leaves with a smile on their face no matter what.
Well, looking at this pair in front of us, it looks like it's getting really tricky because I saw somebody last frame, might have been this frame, on lane 21. The ball looked like it was going to make the turn, but it got right before the head pin and just slid.
Oh, well, you're looking in front of us on the right lane. Enrique Navarro is he struck out the last game for a 2-0. You know, looked like he was lined up ready to go, and here he is in the 150s. You know, it just doesn't seem to be coming to them. That's for sure. Not necessarily him, but everybody. Making a run at that.
Oh, we thought he had it.
Good try.
Wow, 150. Is any, well, the bottom bowler on, a couple of bowlers have a shot at shooting 200.
Well, the girls over to the left, they've already started their third game.
Yep.
So apparently that we were mistaken over that last one. I don't know about having them all start.
Oh. What happened there?
A sweep came down, yeah.
Yeah. Just reset it again. Some bowlers don't even see that whenever it comes down.
No.
They'll just take off.
Yeah.
They're looking at the lane. And
Yep. Oh, got a little bit of 180
going
or
up
something
maybe?
going down there. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh. So Alexis.
She's really struggling.
Yeah.
Shot 133.
Yep. Yep. She had back-to-back gutter balls on her first shot. That's what I mean. That outside is treacherous. Good
So
shot.
it looks like a couple of the bowlers are. Let me see.
Devin Holland from Kentucky there in the 220s. Could be in the 230s with another one here on the left lane 21.
Yeah, it's about getting the ball to read in the right spot.
That's right. Oh.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Good shot.
Nice shot by Hayden there in Indiana. The ball back. He's in a 2. No, he did 211 with another one.
Yeah, and
It's a great game.
his speed's just low enough that.
Yeah, I thought that was going to be wiggle out there when they got there, but
it's not going to wiggle. Oh, good finish.
nice shot. Yeah, nice job.
Good finish. 209. So it'll be 210 in this score.
And Devin Holland shooting 222 from Kentucky on lane 21. Good game. Great game. Not many of those around.
No.
I think the first game we only had, what, maybe half a dozen or about 10 altogether from both sides. 200 games.
Devin having the first game. Yeah, 201. So, I mean, he's
wow.
plus
Very solid.
23.
Yeah, very solid.
You can make that. Pick it up.
Now, I believe this isn't really the first time most of these bowlers are seeing this condition. They had a practice session last night.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
So
whoever
they're
was
a
in
little
town
aware.
was here. And it's technically the second time the shot's been put on the lane. As we know, the more it's on the lane.
Makes it difficult, though, because they're jumping around. I assume they're jumping around from pair to pair.
Yeah.
So when you're bowling on the same pair, you're probably going to get a little different read as the second game comes around. Plus, when you're just practicing, you're throwing all over the place. Of course, they're probably doing that now.
I mean, I might have wanted to just stay on the same pair the whole practice session, knowing I'm going to bowl 3 games in the same pair.
See what's going to develop, Boy, you pay the penalty when you go through the nose here so far.
I think Nick's right at that point where if I square up too much, it's going to go through the nose, swing it a little bit, it's not going to come back. Man, if he could have just filled a couple more frames, that's a better 200 game.
Yeah. And
Indiana,
Indiana
wins that one by 10 pins on that pair.
That's a tough game there.
Yeah. Well, them being tough has probably made this close too.
Yeah.
Between the states.
Game 3 getting ready to start. It's already started for some. Oh, there's a ball change.
Yeah, I saw his dad or coach or whoever it was handing him that ball.
Ball definitely made it left.
Mm-hmm. Well, see, bowler there on lane 21 is throwing something with surface, so that's
Carly.
another
That's
factor
Carly.
on these lane conditions changing.
That's Carly Schrader there from Kentucky on the left lane. Just finished. Good strike to start.
Mm-hmm. I always felt like I was going to do whatever I was going to do to strike. I didn't care if I was throwing surface and messing it up for someone else.
No,
it's all about me, not anybody else.
Yeah, you got to play your own game. Yeah.
Now this is still team, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I mean,
oh well, yeah, sure. You still got to get all you can get. Boy, you got to get the spares though, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's easy to, when you're struggling on the first ball, that when you leave a spare, then it's tough to concentrate sometimes and not keep your focus.
Let's see, he squared up.
Yeah, broke a little early. But they couple spare, leaving only 6. Oh.
I think what makes this even more difficult is when you're on a tough lane condition, you tend to squeeze a little bit more because you're so afraid to miss. Because little misses are much worse, you know.
Oh, you pay the full penalty, yeah.
Yeah.
Pay the full penalty. Because if they don't get it there, it's high through the nose. If you do get it there, a little bit wiggles and you leave that 210 variety. Hayden, a good spare. Devin Holland, one of the more consistent bowlers we've seen so far.
Yeah.
222 and I think 201 for Kentucky on lane 21. First frame. Left. It was.
Hey, he'll take it.
Far enough left.
Yep.
Yeah. Wow, there's
that ball
power
rolled
burn.
good.
Teddy Everett. Yeah,
didn't
Teddy
see
Everett.
if he was throwing that in the 10th frame.
He was not. I don't think
so that's a good ball chain for him.
Yeah, that hit with some extra power there. That was a good one. It's all about the timing of when you do it.
Yes.
When you make that ball change.
See, I mean, right there, he was in. It's like, if I was him, I'd try to get out of that.
I think Graham's bottom. Yeah, it was a good shot. I mean, he had it where he wanted it. Just didn't get a little bit of
first game, that's
drive.
a strike.
Yeah.
That's flush.
It's just on a pillow of oil there at the back end. Good for one. Ooh, I got that to bounce back out.
Yeah. Did he just motion that he thought that went high? It was going to go high?
Oh, another crossover on the left. Brandon Padgett for Kentucky. Sometimes you want to miss by more than a little. It helps out.
The old term rolled out.
Carly Schrader on 22 going to try to make a double here. He's going
Oh, it's in.
correct.
Brooklyn? Yeah. Sometimes you just know how much you have to tug it to go
Yeah.
Brooklyn.
Yeah, you take those on a run on a day like today.
Mhm.
And you get one for a double, that's even better.
Oh, that's a little bit too reactive, maybe.
Well, that one started a little earlier and a lot left. Joseph Adams for Kentucky. Gets a strike there. They're off to a good start here on 21-22.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's filling frames with the exception of Nick, but well, Enrique also in the first frame. But yeah, for the most part, it's a good start. Oh.
As long as they go down. Still a lot of, you can see a lot of ball changing going on. Everybody's going back for more equipment.
That's a good shot by Hayden there.
Yeah, he's been pretty
Solid
good last game or so. Very consistent.
Just a bit outside.
Yep, and that hit that spot where land of no return for Devin Holland. Yeah, last thing you want to do is be thinking as you're going up to to throw the ball, which is there's a lot of that, I'm sure, second guessing. This is hugely important where you just want to make sure you do all your thinking before you ever step up on the approach.
That's such a true story because sometimes you just think too much and then you just throw a bad shot.
Good spare.
Or you're thinking about it while you're in
as
the
you're
middle
going.
of your approach.
Yeah, as you're going. Oh,
and
yeah.
That's even
I've
worse.
been there before. Yeah,
Done that.
That's not good. That's where you usually get those ones where you miss too much, but sometimes they go over there. Yeah.
You know, I've done it, in the league, and I come back off the approach and say, just bowl. Tell myself, just bowl. Don't think.
Teddy Everett with a double. That's a great shot there.
Yeah, it was.
Last two shots were really nice.
So that's a little bit of, looked like that rack was a little bit bad.
Yeah. Brandon Paget, good shot, solid 10 in the right lane for Kentucky.
Oh, so he moved out to see what he had, and that just rolled too early.
Yeah. Brandon Paget right up the lane. Just didn't get the reward for that good shot.
You know what they say, straighter's greater.
Yeah. Well, there's 8 straight filled for Kentucky on this pair.
Yeah.
Good start.
Should have some standings here before too long.
Enrique Navarro gets that ball and he was playing because last two broke high on him, so he sends one and gets in a little bit and sends it a little wider, and there's that 210.
Number 2 for Kentucky. Kentucky boys 59-58. Girls 55-35 for 11-493. Indiana boys 60-31. Girls 55-20 for 11-5-51.
Still pretty close.
Yeah, I can't keep it. I can't figure it out that quick.
Still pretty consistent. Was it 490, 11-493, and 11-5 something? Still close. It's anybody's ball game. Here we go. All right, so yeah, Indiana 11,551, Kentucky 11,493. That's close.
Yeah.
It's anybody's game.
Okay, those of you that are keeping score, running scores for us, please turn in those score sheets as soon as possible after this game. We'd appreciate it.
All right, so we know the state totals. Let's look at the girls. So it looks like I see a leader from Kentucky, Skylar Holt, the 428. Second place is an Indiana girl, Alyssa Cash at 413. And then a couple bowlers. 402 for Kaylee Blaine.
Yeah, scores looks like they dropped.
Yeah.
In the second game for sure.
401 for McKenna Coy. So that's for the girls. For the boys, I'm going to go right to Riley Spear. Where's he at? Indiana boys. 498, so I'm assuming that's the leader. He goes 297, 201.
Yeah.
Second place. I see a 431 for Trevor Thompson from Indiana. And then a 425, well, I got 428 for Robert Oakley Jr. and 425 for Charlie Smith, both of Kentucky. And then Devin Holland, who's right here in front of us, has 423.
Yeah, the score seemed to drop off that second
Yeah,
game a little
yeah.
bit, but the boys seem to be. There's a Jordan Bowerly shot to 138 the first game, come back with a 255 for Indiana.
Yeah, that's
a big.
you
Another
assume the
big
ball
game there.
change there.
I think a lot of things changed. Yeah, that's a great turnaround.
Yeah, Jordan's down there somewhere on the low end. I saw his mom. Didn't see John. So we'll get some pictures of this and I'll get throw on our Facebook page.
Right lane for Ted Everett for the front three. He'll take that break. First three. Lanes 21-22. Kentucky team had 11 straight fills for that, just with the last one open. So pretty good start there for Kentucky on 21-22. You know, it looks like we do have a team, Indiana, that's missing a bowler here on Kylie's pair over there.
Where at?
The leadoff for Kylie's
Oh,
pair.
there is.
Yeah.
So they get zeros.
Well, it says 0, yeah. That makes it really tough. If that's real, unless they're getting some sort of handicap in there.
16. Did somebody withdraw?
I don't know.
Oh, yeah. Somebody withdrew. Madison Turley withdrew in game 2. That's going to be a big factor in the team total.
Yep.
Hope she's okay.
Yeah.
It's nothing too serious. But she got 25 pins for that game. So she withdrew pretty early, it looks like. Kylie came back with a good game that game. She had 210. Carly does here.
Nice shot.
Oh, yeah.
Front 4.
He looked pretty confident, too.
Yeah.
Bowlers, after you complete your third game, do not leave your pair of lanes. We've got a photographer that will be coming down and taking pictures of each team. So please stay at your lanes until the pictures have been taken. We'd appreciate it. And then we will do a state picture also after we get done in the banquet room.
According to our schedule we have here, it looks like singles competition will begin at 1 p.m. today. Step ladder finals will begin approximately, it says 4:15, but you know how that goes.
Yeah.
As far as, I mean, it could be earlier, it could be a little bit later, but it's going to be pretty close. We won't go off the air prior to the step ladder, so. Nice shot.
Devin Hollins is very consistent.
Yeah,
Still.
I was going to say, he's got probably the most consistent line on this pair. Even though
Making
Carly's
spares.
got
Making spares, too. That's the thing.
Even though Carly has the first 4, I feel that Devin's got, he's a little bit more consistent.
Yeah. Brandon Paget out there. He's playing real direct. It's still very touch and go on that shot.
Yeah.
It's just wants to break loose if you're two left with the target. It'll give you that nice hang spot if you go 2 up them on the right. Makeable 610 though.
It's hard to keep that arm swing loose when
you're
afraid. Oh, that's not even close. Looks like he had a little off balance.
Yeah, it's the timing. Got there a little quick on the feet, and the ball didn't quite come through. And so far this morning, that's not been a rare event, the missing the spares. I mean, it's just, it's tough to be consistent.
That's a tug. Yeah.
How many times do you see that where that pin takes that
and then that leaves you a harder spare.
Yeah. Yeah. Carly leaving the 3-6-10.
Yeah, I knew the minute he laid that down, it was
left.
It was going to go left. Oh.
That's one of those. He was right there to pick that up too. It's probably about a fraction of an inch.
Yeah, that's spare. Here's the hardest spare bowling right now.
Yep.
Is what we see her in 22.
You chop the 3-pin out, or you leave the 9. On 22, here it is.
Yep.
There it is. Yeah, boy, when it's going tough, it's going tough. Like I said, it's tough to get to the pocket, and the spares are no easier.
Yeah, sometimes you don't know where the ball's going to go.
No. That's where, you know, if you're bowling, you just got to do, like I said, go back to the basics and do all your thinking before you ever step up on the approach. Once you step on the approach, it's all about hitting your target, and that is it.
Yeah, try to keep it as simple as possible when you're bowling on something.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. When you're bowling on something hard, you want to keep it as simple as
Yeah.
possible. He looked at his thumb. He must have dropped that off.
Yeah, it
his
looked like he just
hand.
a little timing, didn't got there a little quick ahead of himself, and
It's okay. It's on a strike, though. He can
Yeah.
get the spare.
he's been really consistent
He's all right.
last 2 games.
It's much better. Strike. I mean, spare.
Oh, good shot. Good comeback.
Not terrible. I mean,
No, that hurts, but yeah, it was, he gave it a good run at that spare.
so when the reactive balls came out, did you have to change your game much?
Yeah, more about ball setup for me, because I was trying to, the dart and dive, the ball skid flip, was really kind of harsh for me, especially my speed,
Yeah.
because it would double time on the back end. So I had to do a lot of getting the ball to roll a little sooner and kind of flatten out the back a little bit. Yeah, it took a little bit, but, it's one of those things you just keep working at it.
Yeah.
And once you figured it out, it was good, because the ball would still, the reactive stuff was still going to hit.
It hit a lot
So,
harder.
but it definitely created different angles, that you had before, and for me especially, just important to not hit up. So I had to really work on projecting it through the lane and that sort of thing.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of especially on the professional level, I think they found out first that you didn't have to hit the ball. You just keep it soft at the bottom of the swing. And
Well, especially when that Excalibur came out, we were we were in L.A. and then next Vegas like the second and third week of the year, and when the gentleman brought those Excaliburs out and some of the guys started getting them, and the big one was Mark McDowell when he came out. Man, his ball was just, it was taking a left-hand turn to the back end.
you've never seen that before.
No, unbelievable.
Yeah.
It certainly turned things around, and then, I got one the next week, and it was like, it was too much for me. I hated it. Yeah, I hated it.
Well, and those early at the Excalibur, I remember if you got around it too much, it didn't hook.
Yeah. Yep. It was definitely one of those things.
A little bit more release.
It was an acquired taste.
Yeah, release sensitive.
But boy, some people walked right into it. It just was, it was night and day, which caused a little bit of friction for the guys who had hands, and all of a sudden it neutralized their hand. The hand by power.
Yeah, it created an advantage for some
the
players.
Ross and the Holmans and people like that.
Yeah, I remember the first time I saw somebody throwing that Excalibur. It, like I said a little bit ago, you've never seen a ball do that. And it would just go down the lane, look kind of normal, but then it got to the back end, it just made such a sharp turn, like somebody kicked it.
Yeah, like they kicked it, exactly.
And it was like, holy
And certain
moly.
players went from who were guys that were going to leave, the weaker hits. They were, 6 slapping the 10 out and the 5 destroying the 7, and, just totally different looks, But it didn't take long for the other ball companies to catch up.
No. Yeah, wasn't that ball developed in somebody's garage?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he sold the rights to
Yep.
someone. I don't know.
I believe it might have been Storm, but I'm
Yeah.
not sure on that exactly. I've slept since then, but that was a long time ago. Oh, Hayden with the 7th.
Yeah, I had
pin
one.
leg straight back.
I had one actually. My senior pictures, I had
Oh, really?
my picture taken with it before I drilled it.
Oh, okay. I wish
Yeah.
I'd have kept mine just to have.
Well,
this
yeah.
stuff, but I didn't do anything with it, as far as scoring wise.
Sure. I saw somebody made a YouTube video. I saw it a few weeks ago, where he. Oh my God! What did he do to it? I think he just drilled
Excalibur?
it. Excalibur.
Really?
He found one brand new on
Wow.
eBay, paid a fortune for
I was going
it.
to say, I bet that
And it
was.
might have only been like a 12-pounder,
Mhm.
14-pounder. It was a light one, but he drilled it and threw it. Oh, he was a two-hander. And I was like, ooh,
Seems like a waste of
I need to watch this
time.
because I want to see what that ball does now on today's board.
Oh, right, yeah.
You know. And then I found out it was a glider ball, so I'm like, well, I'm not going to really be able to
And
see.
that was the thing, too,
much.
about those back then. I mean, it's almost like the ball was allergic to oil.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
It didn't read it. I mean, you got in the oil and it just, you know. Then when it did catch the dry, it was like you said, just dead left. And it was like, man, you talk about designs you're leaving on the back end.
And it was all about, like, nobody ever seen a ball be that tacky on the surface.
Right, yeah.
You know, I've got some older equipment at home, a Storm El Nino, the original El Nino, and I've taken it out and bowled with it on today's wind conditions, and it doesn't react like it did.
No.
It's older, but still.
Maybe need to put it in the what's that thing
That's
Tom's
soaker.
got? The thing that gets all the oil out of it.
Yeah. No, it's got a weight hole in it. I can't throw it in the league anymore.
Oh, well, yeah.
But I could
there's
plug the
that.
weight hole in it, would be legal. I had a pretty unique drilling on it, so we put the mass bias up in my track up instead of down. And we went to the seminar on that ball. And we asked them, well, what would you do? Because that's when mass bias was just coming out. Well, what would the ball do if we threw the mass bias up? They're like, oh, that's a good question. Here, take a ball. They gave us an extra one.
Huh.
But because, you know, for that, you have to have a smaller pin and a really low top weight. And they had one. And I shot 300 with that ball.
Oh.
It was awesome because the ball went longer. You could be flat with it, and you got this completely different reaction. You just change release. Yeah, I still have it at home.
Yeah, things definitely changed with the no extra hole.
Yeah, it's got a little extra hole. We're about halfway through this game. Well, some players are nearing the end, especially on the girl side. Once this round concludes, we'll go off the air. We'll come back about 1 o'clock or so and let everybody know who won. If I can get my hands on a standing sheet, I'll post it on Facebook first. But tough break. He's got such a good game going too. I mean, he had to open in the 5th, but
4-9. Yeah, that was a great shot. Nice
good shot.
Right there with a double there. A couple of good shots. Good try.
Made a run at it.
Good try.
Oh. I think there's a traveling trophy for this event too.
I would think so. Kylie shoots 171, third game.
No spare. Even though it's a baby split, it's still another one where you're just afraid to miss because
one way or the other.
Yeah.
Either gets the 2 or the 3, or you just send it straight back. Eddie Everett. Looked like that was going to be good, but boy,
That looked good.
broke a little sharp. If they got those blank pairs so they can keep all their extra balls.
yeah, that's what I was looking at. I mean,
they're all almost look like somebody's bowling on the pairs.
Ooh,
Evan Holland, great shot. Yeah, great shot.
Get 2. Thought he was going to chop for a second.
Kenny Everett, yep, got that spare 610. Devin Holland keeping a clean game going there.
Oh, we got out of the urethane. We didn't see that.
Ooh,
It still went straight.
Yep.
Yeah. Coming down to the end, who's going to win this year's tournament on the team side? Which state is going to win?
It's been back and forth the first two.
Yeah, it was 50-some pin.
Wow, great shot. 3 in a row. Perfect.
50-some pin difference between the states. Indiana winning by 57, 58 pins, something like that.
Yeah, back down about the 8th, 9th, and 10th here, all the way across the house.
Oh, nice shot.
Yeah, Charlie Schrader making some great shots there.
Especially after coming back from that 4-9.
Yeah, between strikes too, yeah.
Oh, high flush. Hayden got out of the purple hammer and went into reactive. Strategy is going to be a little bit different for these bowlers because, you know, they're going to come back freshly oiled lanes. Probably going to start with the same equipment they started with this round. The transition is going to be different because there's not going to be as much play on these pairs as there was.
Nice.
They're going to get 2 games. They're going to get 2 games on their pair, but then go to another pair for the next round. So it's going to be a whole different start. When do they get out of the urethane and go to the reactive? And
yeah, you don't want to be too early, and you don't want to be too late.
Exactly.
So.
That's a good shot.
Great shot.
Keep grinding. Keep fighting here. Good shot.
Yeah, here's someone behind us. Keep grinding. That's exactly what it is.
Nicholas Ransbaum, great shot. A lot of wood left out there in the 10th frame here. Indiana with strikes all the way down in the 8th. I'm sorry, Kentucky. No, Indiana.
Yeah, that was Indiana.
Yeah.
Oh, got it out a little bit too far.
Looks like there's only 2 pair left down on the low end. Still bowling.
Should have brought my winter coat.
I was going to go to my car and see if I have anything out there.
Yeah.
Jacket.
Spare.
Good spare. Fill those frames.
It looks like it. Excuse me. Everybody's a lot more comfortable on this pair.
Yeah. Harley Schrader up on the left lane there, working on a strike. A lot of pins left for him out there. That's right.
Oh.
And he's keeping his speed up, but boy, he didn't miss by far. But boy, ball never picked up, never read the lane, and just never made a move. That's a tough one there.
Yeah, it wiggled.
Good release.
Oh, nice shot.
What a shot. Four-bagger there for Enrique Navarro. Oh. Enrique, he's been scrambling all day. I mean, he's worked hard to get what he's got. I mean, he's thrown some strikes, but, he's had to fight back.
I always felt better where, like, bowling in a tournament or even in league, and you just grinded it out all night and shot say a low 600 or something like that. Sure, it wasn't a great set, but like you grind it and
those are mentally lifting. Yeah, they really are.
You feel good about it.
Yep. Nice shot.
The way you read it's hard to follow.
It also feels good just you're working at it too.
Yeah, that's Hayden trying to fit it between the two.
Oh,
nice try.
Nice try.
Nice try.
Starting to get quiet in here as people finish. It's like our pair is going to be one of the last ones, which is okay. Yeah, just fill the frame like he's been doing all game. Hit. Oh, nice shot.
Solid. Wow. He's made some good shots this game, Teddy.
He has.
Teddy Everett. So as well as Devin Holland on the left lane, he's just been consistent. He's probably the most consistent we've seen. He's been picking spares and throwing some strikes here and there.
Announcer's jinx.
Yep.
Sorry.
We've seen a lot of that missing, not the only one that shot, but we've seen a lot of that 10 pin and the 610 and, people missing those.
Let's see, and everybody, a lot of them are missing it left like that.
Yeah.
Is that a
I wonder if they're afraid to get it out because they know it's going to, it's going to slide off the edge if you get it too close.
Yeah, it's just.
And the middle's breaking anyway.
Not keeping your arm swing relaxed. So you're just kind of almost forcing it.
That's that thinking up on the approach and doing,
Hold. Oh, good shot. Better than the last frame.
Good shot by Nicholas. Good shot.
The last frame over there. For the big four. Oh, almost slid it over.
Yeah, there has been no guarantees today.
No. Good shot. All right, 10 frame.
Hey, bud. Yeah, good.
These two teams have been pretty close all day.
They have, back and forth, but they have.
Hold. Yeah. It's like he set it down just a little bit too
early.
far inside.
A little too careful.
Yep.
Nice.
He's got a good line.
Yeah.
Keeping it simple.
Carly Schrader with that strike, first ball on the 10.
I think that surface is helping him keep that.
Yeah.
Tame the back ends down.
He's got 197 left with 2 more strikes. Enrique has a chance for 192 with a strike to fill. Oh, wow. That is the one spot you can hit
Yeah.
high right there.
Yeah.
Just squashed them both. Yeah, that's a double.
On what would have been a big four for everyone,
Yeah.
anyone else.
Yeah.
He gets the cave in. Better shot.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, six count. 188 for Enrique. Solid 7 for Carly Schrader, leaving the shooting
After hitting the
196.
pocket,
Yeah, yeah, 196 for Carly.
That's good. Up.
Joseph Adams knew what the lane was going to do, just enough to get the 7. Joseph can strike for 181. Hayden on the left lane for Indiana.
Oh.
170 for Hayden. No.
Oh.
178, Joseph Adams.
Good place to leave that split.
Yeah. No, trips 10 out that time. Solid 10 the last time on
yeah.
that strike. Between strikes, that's solid 10. He's still in a really good game this game, Teddy Everett.
Yeah, I mean, he's a couple solid 10s away from
Yeah.
a really,
Big game. Yep.
really good game. That's a left.
Doesn't take much to be a little bit off out there.
No.
Sure.
You know, Devin's bowled a really good game. He's had a hard time striking since the 4th frame,
Yeah.
but he's filled frames with, you know,
Yeah.
with the exception of the 9th there.
Yeah. Teddy Everett's in the 190s.
That's fair. Two pairs going on in the house. This one in front of us, and then we have a girls pair on 25 and 26, and they're about done.
.195, Teddy Everett. Score didn't show how he bowled that game.
No,
Made
exactly.
some great shots.
Yeah.
Great shots.
Good finish there. That's another one where, you know, 178
Yeah.
with one open.
Yeah. Oh, crossing over Nicholas Farnston. Oh. Ouch.
Did he foul? Is he okay?
He's up. That could not have felt good because that was one of those where you lose your balance and didn't have a chance to catch yourself. Yeah. Brandon Padgett.
Yeah, he went across the line because he's wiping his hand, oil off his hands.
Yeah.
Well, the most important thing is he's okay.
Oh, yeah. No, that
Right.
was one of those where you could see somebody getting hurt there. Nice double from Nicholas Marshton.
That was one of the scariest things when synthetic approaches came out.
Oh.
I mean, remember.
Oof. Slick or tack, there was no in between.
Yeah, nobody knew how to take care of them.
Usually slick until the summertime came around, then humidity.
Well, especially when they were brand new. I remember when they were brand new, they were ultra
I hated
slick.
them. Yeah.
And people were falling left and right. And
you know, and
cussing
that's kind of where the, you know, the I guess the integrated shoes came in to where you could adapt the shoes like the bowling balls.
Yeah. Good finish for Nick.
Yeah, good fill.
And there's one of those.
That's a tough one to make right there.
Yeah, because you're worried about falling again.
Everything, yeah.
Well,
that's the one. If you're not thinking going up there, you've got nerves of ice. Yeah, because that's a tough one.
We're in league this year. We're at our last night, or next to last night. I was in. Oh God, it was the last game, but my sole on my non-sliding foot started to come off.
Oh no!
And when I took my step, it hung off, and I tripped over it, almost fell.
No nosedives.
And but I ended up just releasing the ball because I just couldn't stop. Yeah. And I took out the 10-pin. Everybody's like, "What the hell?" I'm like, I showed them like, "Oh, you better go in the pro shop and glue that on."
That up. Yeah, exactly.
But so I get up there in the next frame, I was worried again.
Oh, of course.
Even though I glued it back on.
No, that's in your head.
Yeah. So 2 frames.
It's like hitting your ankle. It's like hitting your ankle. Yeah. You don't let that just go by. Yeah. Looks like we've completed this.
Everybody
round.
is done.
Yeah.
We're gonna go ahead and sign off. We'll be back about 1 o'clock with the singles match play. As soon as we get the standings for this, I will put it on our Facebook page. We'll also go over it at the beginning of the broadcast at 1. I want to thank you for watching for the Indiana-Kentucky All-Stars here 2023 26th edition. And we'll see you guys back here about 1 o'clock.